Hey everyone, and welcome to the Double Game Week 20 review. It was a big week, some high scores out there for sure. As we can see, a round highest is 156, so an amazing week for whoever that was. For me, I'm not super thrilled with how things went. Things started out really good, honestly, things could have ended up well aside from the captaincy, went absolutely terrible. Not happy with how that went at all, and it really put a damper on things. As we can see right up at the top, Marcus Thuram, who had two really peachy fixtures against, I think it was Venezia and Bologna today. I'm pretty sure it was Venezia. Um, and yeah, it gets doesn't start the first game, comes on pretty late, and then just gets the 1 point there, and then plays the entire match today against Bologna. Inter scores two goals, and he doesn't contribute at all. Well, Lautaro Martinez does. So that was a tough pill to swallow, but most things went okay this week. It started off fantastic right away in the first game. Catrone scored the Como goal, which was awesome for the first day. And like fantasy wise, it obviously helped me out. The fact that Pat's got injured, hopefully he is okay. It was unfortunate if you had Pats as he played first 20 minutes actually looking threatening. And then he got injured, was off, and didn't play the second game. So you get a 1 pointer on him, even though he was on a double this past week. Now, I had 130 as my goal for this week. I got 117. So that's why I don't think it was a great double game week. Normally in Serie fantasy, you're thinking 65 points is you can live with for a week. Hopefully you're getting in the 70s and 80s if you're near the top. But I was thinking if were to have like two 65-point game weeks, that would be 130. I'd be kind of content with that. Um, and we move on from there, knowing that maybe I should underestimate a really good week because of some rotation, even though my team didn't have too much rotation to it. But so that's where we were at. So we were looking for players to get about 11 to 12 points in total each. So Catrone, I'd say, met his what I would have expected him, where he was the one where I was most unsure about getting points. Trem, as a captain, didn't even break 10 points, which was actually crazy. Um, Next player was Pulisic, who got an assist in the first game, I believe, but then came off at halftime, I think, with some kind of injury in the second match, so only scored 8 points. Freuler, I wasn't expecting too much for. I probably should have picked a little bit more of an attacking uh, Bologna player, but none of them did too fantastic. Maybe outside of Castro, I think scored in the second game, or Cellini got an assist. But for the price point, I was kind of kept with Freuler. 3 points, 4 points, so seven in total. Not great. The two midfield players for Atalanta, they both got their like kind of average midfielder 4 or 5 points for playing in some half clean sheets, but neither of them got a goal or an assist over these two matches, which was kind of surprising. And I think Retegui outscored them or came close, even though he only played in the one game for a couple minutes. Yildiz scored in the first game, which was nice, and he played. I don't know if it was all or majority of both games. Juve still are terrible, tied both games, um, but at least scored in the first one, which was also no, that was part of the second day, but it really helped what seemed like it was going to be a good game week overall. It was tough to see Cambiaso start on the bench the first game. Um, he did sub on towards the end, and I did think that he was going to be ready for things for the first game. At least he played the full second game, got a half clean sheet until Retegui scored. And if only I captained who I ended up vice captaining. It's almost just I wish Thuram didn't play and I could have just subbed on Di Lorenzo. But that would have been a 19-point double, which I did see some people get, which would have been amazing. Um, but yeah, that's a tough one to swallow. At least I had him in my team, and he scored a goal in the second game. The half clean sheets were there. Um, and overall, pretty happy with Teo Hernandez's performance. Looks kind of revitalized under Conceição as the manager. And then Bokama, 4 or 5 points, a half clean sheet in both games. That's probably all I could have asked from him. And Samir was looking pretty good in the first game, but got scored on in both halves by Bologna in that 2-2 draw. So didn't score as well in the second game, but at least got to that quota of 11, 12, 13 points. We only had one, two, three, four players actually get to what I would have thought would have been reasonable. Because normally a defender scoring around 6 points a game, even to get one of the clean sheets, 5, 6 points. And then your strikers, even like just for the playing points, if at least if I would have gotten 12 points there, if Trem just played both games for at least 60 minutes, I could have at least got 12 points in total rather than 8 points in total. So just a really bad game week where it would have been better to have Di Lorenzo in than a lot of the players I have here. He outscored Cambias. Cambiaso was even with Lookman, De Catalare, Bokuma, and he was over further, over Pulisic, over Trem as captain. So honestly, just didn't pan out how I thought. I obviously still have a decent rank, 262. Like if you told me at the end of game week 20, I'd be 262nd in the world out of 26,000 people, I'd probably take it. But I just thought that I'd be making a more headway from this specific game. But you can only do, or you can only make do with what happened. So we move on from here. We take this. It's still a nice team to take because now I've used my wild card, so it's free transfers from here on out. And we'll see where we can take it and hopefully keep climbing. With that being said, we'll take a look at our league. So I've moved up to 11th, so actually getting towards the top for once. Give United at 1636, also 11th in the world, so not bad at all. Had Trem as well, but was smart in captain Teo Hernandez. So that's big. Had one of the assist getters in Orsolini. Also had Yildiz. Had a very similar team. I played Di Lorenzo, which was a good call, and had Kalulu. That was the Juve goal scored today. So that's a big call right there. A 21 pointer. Good for you. Imagine captaining Kalulu, and then had Jens Sommer in a solid team. Also, all double game week players except for Di Lorenzo. We have Snake, who now he wild carded last week, so a bit tougher of a game week for him with not as many double game week players. In fact, just had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double game week players. Unfortunately, sat one of his highest scores in the week in Dorgu. But a bit of a, as far as probably what most people are getting around, maybe a little bit of a lower score, just scraping over 100. But considering it's only 5 double game week players, that's not bad. Good captaincy and Denzel Dumfries. So that's something that you can be pleased about. And kind of survived what would have been one of the tougher game weeks for him as he works to be getting in players back from those bigger teams again. And La Bedia back up into the top 3. 45th in the world. And Kalulu and Teo with the Teo captaincy working out well again. Unfortunately, had Pats, Samara Net, Gatti, who played all of both games, I believe. So gets the 10 points there that you'd probably at least want. But less scoring going on up at the front, 125 points in total. Good week. And that's kind of where we finish off. So the crazy fixtures are kind of done for now. We will have a couple more double game weeks. I don't know if both of them are going to be thrown into one, but we do have rescheduled fixtures between Inter and Fiorentina, and it is Bologna, and I think it's Milan. Someone correct me if I'm wrong there. I think it's Milan and Bologna. Okay. So make sure we're looking out for when those fixtures get scheduled, and I'll obviously be sure to announce it, and we'll talk strategy when it comes to it. Take care, and I'll see you for the team selection tomorrow.